Hello everyone, I'm here again. I'm Samuel from Learn Programming Africa, and we are going to go through today's assignments and quizzes. Before that, please come here and subscribe if you are an ALX alumni or a student. Please come here and follow us. We are going to do every assignment together. We have a Facebook as well as Instagram accounts which are added here, as you can see. We are going to post an interview questions that are asked by multiple or big companies like Google, Amazon, LinkedIn, and such companies, and we are going to solve them here after a while, but we are preparing a website for that. This is an announcement. Please follow us. We are going to go through ALX together. We are going through the interview questions, everything that are coming towards us together. So join us. Let's get into a big companies like Google. For example, Google Accra is accepting students from Ethiopia. Those have followed this exact program. So let's aim for that and continue our journey. After an announcement, I'm going to start today's lesson. So thank you in advance for subscribing. Let's continue. Today's task is more pointer arrays and strings. We have seen about pointers, and we are going to prepare we are going to prepare a good tutorial on pointers later on, but I'm not having enough time to prepare that, as I'm an employee as well. So let's dive into today's task. So we are just going to do the tasks today as well. We will do the other things later, but today I'm really tired, so I'm going to go through the basic ones, and I will try uploading or doing the next task or the advanced tasks tomorrow, as it is going to be a 2-day project, as this is going to be 2 days project. So please hang around for me. I'm going to do the advanced tasks tomorrow, so that I'm going to do another video tomorrow. That means I'm going to do another video tomorrow. So hang in there, and let's go on the first assignment task now. I'm going to start from the quizzes, and let's start. So let's read the first question. What is the type of var? The var is best. So in C, this is going to be a character, an array of a character, which is represented like this. If it is going to be an integer array, it is going to be represented like this. So a string is an array of character. So this is the answer. What is wrong with the following code? It is initializing n as 5. It is initializing or instantiating an array of size 10. This is going to be I equals to 3, and array n means the fifth element or the sixth element, as arrays index start from 0, is going to be assigned I. So on this code there is nothing wrong, as everything is inside within the memory allocated for that array. So that is why. The next one is what is wrong with the following code, and it is as you can see the same code as before, as this one, but as you can see it is int n, and the difference is only n here. Array is instantiated by a dynamic variable, which is impossible to declare like this. An array is not going to be declared like this, so this is the answer, as you can see ticked. So let's move down. What is wrong with the following code? This is int n equals to 5, array of length 5, so int I equals to 3, and array index 6 or index 5 is going to be I. So we have an array of length 5, and the 6 index is not accessible, so it is impossible to access the array with index 6. So as we know, if we have an array of 5 elements, it is going to be of size 5, which is starting from 0. It should end at index 4. Here it is ending at it is accessing the 5th index, which is the 6th element. So that is why it is impossible to access the array of this index array. So this is why I choose this one. What is important to reserve enough space for an extra character where declaring or allocating for a string. So as we know, a string ends with a null byte, which is /0 character. So for that we have to add or reserve an extra space. So that is why this is chosen. What is or are the difference between the two following variables? So the first one is an array of character, which is a string, and it is empty string. The second one is an array of a character, which is a string, and it is pointing to null. So the answer is going to be, the first one is pointing to a 0 byte, the second one points to 0. Null is considered as 0 or false in programming language, so that is that. This is actually empty string is as we know have an ending or a 0 byte character, which is a /0 character. That is what this is saying, and it is a valid or a true statement. The second true statement is the first one can be dereferenced, which we can get a 0 byte or a /0 character while when we dereference it, and the second one doesn't, so it is null. So we cannot dereference a null value. That is, these two are the valid or the correct answers here. So the last question: what happens when one tries to dereference pointer to null? This is of course segmentation fault, or if you don't know or it is not allocated. For example, if in here for example, or here int n equals to 5, not here, in here we are referencing the 6th element, which we don't know, or this is going to cause a segmentation error as well. So that is all about the quiz. Let me minimize the quiz and move down to the project. I'm going to write a brief code. I'm going to use most of the built-in library. As you can see, it is already given, but we should write a code about them. As there is no time today, I'm going to use these things and move on, but I'm going to try writing a couple of them for you, so that you can have the concept of how you can do it. So let's do what we do as always and create our folder by coming here cd into desktop alx-africa alx low level programming ls. As you can see, we are here. I'm going to create make directory and copy this v, and I'm going to cascade moving into this directory. So I'm going to end then cd, then 0x06 pointer. Then what do I need inside? This is going to be end touch readme.md md end. What other do we need? We are going to need the .c file and touch steercat.c. We also need end touch main.h file. So I think these are good to go. So if I ls here, these are created for me, the readme, the main.h, and the other things. So I'm going to nano into readme. Actually, you can use whatever you need. I'm going to use nano today. There are multiple editors like vi, so this is one of the editor on Linux which you can install using sudo apt install nano, which will do it for you. So I'm going to write this is a pointer assignment, actually the second pointer assignment, pointer array and strings assignment. So I'm going to Control O, which is write to the file, and Control X, which is quitting. So I'm going to clear out of this. You can use VI and use the things you know as before. I just needed to show you what is possible there. So I'm going to go to the desktop, alx-africa, alx low level programming, and here I'm going to open the three of them as one. And if I come here, I have readme.md. I'm going to remove that, and main.h and steercat.c. So these are what we need. Let's read the instruction, and the general one first. Use editor like vi, vim, and emacs. I'm not going to use those as I hate vi and emacs. You can also install vim using sudo apt install vim. I think install vim. So on Ubuntu. So you can use this one to install the text editor. Actually, Control Alt T. It is going to open the terminal. Then sudo apt update, sudo apt search vim, install vim. So this is what you should run to have a vim editor, which will highlight the codes like you like it, like you want it. So that is that. You can also do nano, which is the same as this one, but somehow different commands. For example, if you want to quit out of vi or vim, you just need to :q. In on nano, it is going to be Control X. That is the difference. So let's continue. All your files should be compiled on Ubuntu, and all your files should end with new line. This here is a good one. These are what we know up to this one. So I'm going to also have a put car. I'm going to copy this one and come here, touch underscore put char.c, and I'm going to open it like this, and I'm going to v into it, and I'm going to come here and I'm going to write if defined if not defined, main underscore h define main underscore h. Then I'm going to here end if. Then I'm going to do the code here. This is doing, for example, this is strictly giving us one instance of the prototype, so that it is going to be included once only. If it has been included, it won't allow to allow the compiler to execute this specific code twice. So that is what we are doing in this code. So I'm going to do here, I'm going to come here and copy this one first, as this is always our first line in our prototype. Control C and control copy. Then I'm going to save this one as well. I'm going to remove this one as well as let this be here. I'm going to start by including our main, include main.h here, and I'm going to add the description like this. And let's see what the first question is asking. So it is saying the prototype is like this. So I'm going to copy this one, go to main.h first, paste it here, come here, paste it here, remove the semicolon, and come here and open the curly brace, and I'm going to add this one, copy, then this one. This is a function, steer cut. It has two parameters, dist first param and src, which is second param. I'm going to remove this one actually, as it is not required. So I'm going to return, as it is returning, it has a return type of character, it should return a character. That is what I'm going to say. So let's read the instruction again. The function appends the source string to the dist string, overwriting the terminating null byte at the end of dist, and then adds the terminating null byte. So this is what this is doing is it is going to append what is on a source to a dist, overwriting the null byte. Then it is going to add the null byte at the end of the result. So it is going to return the pointer to resulting string dist. So as you can see, actually here I'm going to change this to, it is not going to return a character only, it is going to return a string. As you can see, it has this asterisk here, so that is what it is going to return. So let's go and write the code. So I'm going to need the length first, int len equals to 0, comma, I'm going to loop through the distance, the car, so I'm going to need I here. I'm going to do here the first, I'm going to know the length of the destination character, so I'm going to write while there is destination, there is a string, or there is it is while it is not null, I'm going to say len So what I'm going to do is len plus plus. This code is saying if there is a character in this dest string, it is going to add null to it, add a 1 to it, so it is going to count the length of this string, and we are going down and write a for loop which is for I equals to 0, I actually up to source. Source is not source I not equals to null character, which is this character I plus plus. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do this one once, control tab, and it is done. So here I'm going to add or I'm going to extend the dest. So it is, we are going to append source to a destination string. So we are going to overwrite the first thing we are going to override is going to be destination, then length, which is on here on the length, as you can see, it is going to give us the on the null character, which is this one for a dest. So it is going to replace that with the first string of the source, which is I. If I equals to 0, it is going to replace that. So for this to move forward, we are going to do what? Semicolon here. Sorry for my sound. So and here I'm going to add on len 1, so plus equals to 1. This is what this is doing is going to be it is adding 1 to the length of the destination string. It is expanding it, so we are moving one character at a time as we are adding source, as we are appending a source character from there. So that is that. So if this is done, what we are going to do is it has said that we have to add a terminating null byte to the result or the destination string. What we are going to do here is I'm going to say dest, then length equals to the terminating character 0, this. So what this should return is a string, so return dest, which is the combination of the destination and source, and source being appended to destination. So this is the code, but as well we can use stircat. We just need to see where stircat is, see program. So I'm going to do this one, go to the example here and come here. The stircat is inside a string.h, so we just need to import string.h into our file, and if we do stircat and give it these two strings, it is going to give us both concatenated. For example, here, So this is, and steer 2 is programming z.com. So as you can see, string 1 is this one, and string 2 is programming.com. So steer cat is steer 1 and steer 2. It is concatenating the first string to the second string. So what the output is going to be is programming. This is programming z.com. So the first one is going to be altered. So when we print the first string, it is giving us the altered one, and the second one is not going to be altered, so it is giving us this one. That is how we use steer cat, and we have just made a custom steer cat function. This is how it is done. So I'm going to save this and come here, save this, and I'm going to do git add or git commit message and steer cat implemented as my message, and I'm going to git push to my repository, as I have set up the repository on the day 0 of low-level programming. So I'm going to check if I have done this correctly. Let's check our code. Come in here. So it is, there is a compilation error. I think there is no hint we can see, but I think on here there is the file is present. So what this is going to say is a compilation error. So we have forgotten some things, I think. So let's see what is wrong. Have I forgotten something? So let me Betty here, Betty what 0, is this 0? Steer cat. Let's see, trailing white space on line 7. On line 7 there is a trailing white space here. On line 15 trailing white space, line 15 here is a trailing white space, and on line 22 there is parenthesis required on return statement. So on line 22, okay, here I have forgotten a semicolon, so that is what it is saying. Git add or git commit message hotfix git push. This is going to push it, and I'm going to go back and start new test. There is still the same, so I'm going to bait him here. So there is something wrong here, which shall be, I think, is a memory allocation problem. So let us do this thing. What we are going to do is I'm going to include string .h. By the way, let's test this code, but we don't have that much time, so let me do this. So I'm going to do a steer cat, then test comma src, and I'm going to remove this one. And if I do this and come here, git add all, git commit what hotfix, git push paste. What is wrong? Done. So let me check on my code block. I'm going to open the previous one here, and I'm going to come here and do this thing actually. Copy here, V here, steer cut, hello, and build this and run. So here I'm going to make this one, and I'm going to run this, and segmentation fault, core dumped. What happened? Should I do this one like this? So there is something wrong, which is I am accessing a forbidden place. So that is what it is saying. I'm going to fix this by so let's see if this can fix it. Paste it here and run this. Segmentation fault, core dumped. This is also another error, so let me look into it offline. I don't think I'm going to fix it as I'm really tired now. So let's move to the next one. So here I'm going to write the second function. I'm going to come here, do this, and come up here. This is a file present error, I think. So I think let's ls here, move steer cut to this one, ls, and I'm going to git add all, git commit message fix, git push. As you can see, my file name was steercut.c, and now I have changed it to 0 steercut.c. So let's see if this works. Which code have I? And this one is what I have. So let's see if it works or it passes some tests for us. Yes, it has passed. As you can see, as you have seen, it is a spelling issue. It should be the name should be like this, but I have forgotten to add a trailing zero dash there. That's what happened. So let's go down here, and I'm going to add close without saving, and I have added this here, and I'm going to come back here and create touch 1 dash steer ncat.c. I think I have to, okay, I think I am right, steer n then cat.c. so this is what we are going to write. I'm going to come here, open the C file. I'm going to include main.h. I'm going to do this, then I'm going to paste it here, not paste here, so I'm going to come here, copy this one, paste it here, remove the trailing semicolon and add this one, and I'm going to add the description here, underscore steer ncat, which is function to append some characters, I think. So there is at test sorry, this is a first param, and src is second param, and at n is third param. So the next one is it return string. That's the information we can get from this prototyping. So let's go here and read the instructions. So prototype, this is what our function should be. There is a steer ncat here as well. I'm going to use that and pass this thing. So I'm going to include string.h here, and I'm going to say steer ncat, then destination comma src comma n. So this is going to be, this should be like this, so that it is going to update the reference to this one. So I'm going to return dest as before, and I have to add semicolon here as well, and this is what we need to do, I think. So let's check if this is correct. Git add all, git commit message, and steer ncat implemented. Git push, and I'm going to check that by coming here if I was correct, and that is what not correct. So let's see what we have done wrong. So I'm going to come here, copy, I'm going to come here, copy this one, I'm going to come here, copy this one, and I'm going to say car dest equals to hello car source equals to world to do this one, test and src and 5 maybe, and if I run this segmentation fault, what is going on? So okay, this should be 3 maybe. This is segmentation fault here. Okay, warning restrict, but argument is of type this. Let's move on here and see steer and cut, and why it's giving me an error. I think it is having some difficult problem. Let's see if here how we have used this steer 1, this one, and steer 1 and steer 2. It's stored in steer 1. So, our function is giving it here. We should give it. We should initialize this as, for example, 100. For example, 100. Then if we run this, I don't think it should give us this one. Why not? Why it is giving us this? We will figure it out on the tutorial, but for now let's see if we can write a decent code here. Let's do this and check git add that git commit how to fix git push, and let's come here, check our code, and as you can see, it has passed our test. I was thinking to pass it a reference of this rather than passing it by value, but I have passed it by value and it worked. So that is how steer cut works. So I'm going to come here and do this and do this, and let's do this. So it is returning, but it is not printing, so I'm going to print f percentage s what test. If I do that, this should give me what I was intending to do. So I'm going to add a semicolon here, and as you can see, it is giving me what I need. So it is adding this 3 characters to this one. That is what I needed. So that is that. So it has passed. Let's go down. We are going to copy this one, copy it, come here, paste it here, and come back here, go down, come here and clear your screen, then touch to-steer and cpy.c, and well, actually we can write a code for it, but I'm just using the built-ins for now, as it is late here. Include main.h, I'm going to do this, then do this. I'm going to include string.h here as well. Include string.h, and I'm going to use string copy here, then list src and n, and return. I think test is what we need. So so this is, I'm going to copy this one. For copying purpose, and I'm going to param 1 src param 2 and add n param 3. And what are we returning? Return is a string. So if we run this, I think we are gonna git add or git commit but steer and cpy is implemented. By the way, it is for practice. This is just for practice. That is why I'm doing it the old way. Actually, this is optimized, the optimized and way better function than anyone can write the code. So if we use, by the way, we always use the built-in functions first, then we implement what we need on top of that. So here implementing it has no point rather than knowing how to write the code exactly. So we might try writing this code on the tutorials, but for now we are good like this. So let's move on. Git push, I have pushed it, and I'm going to test the code here. I'm going to copy this one, copy this, then I'm going to come back here. There is one thing here. I think Betty is complaining. Let's see if she is the one complaining. Yes, she is complaining. So what is she complaining about? On line 10 we have forgotten to add, and we have added something here. So that is what she's saying. Git add or git commit hot fix git push. By the way, when you got an experience, you are going to see what is wrong with your code at the blink of an eye, like I am doing right now. So don't worry, you are going to get there one way or another. So that is done. Let's see what we can do here. So I'm going to touch 3 steer compare.c. This is a comparison, I think, write a function that compares to strings. So that is what we are going to write. So I'm going to open this, paste it here. We are going to use this one. So we have a steer compare here, and that is what we are going to use. And what is a prototype? This is int copy, come here, paste it here, and come here and paste it here, and change this one to S1 and S2 and remove n. Then it is going to say here param1 is exact, and S1 is going to change, S2 is going to change, and there is nothing here. This is going to return integer. So I'm going to change this one as well, v for comparing purpose, and I'm going to come here and read about str compare in C. So we are going to go here and int str compare this one. Then how we are going to see an example. We are going to take this as this one. We result, so int result equals to, and we are going to return result here. So we are giving a str compare the two strings, and it is going to compare the strings and give us some kind of integer. So let's see here. As you can see, it is ABCD, str2 is ABCD, the str3 is ABCD. So this is capital letter. That is what it is going to compare. Result equals to str compare this one and result. So str1 and str2, str1 and str3, so are not equal. Here the result is non-zero integer. So if they are equal, it is going to give us 0. If they are not equal, it is going to give us 1. That is what is happening here. So let's save this pause, and I'm going to git add or git commit message and str compare implemented here, and I'm going to beta check on number 3. There is nothing, so clear. I'm going to git push here. So I'm going to come back here and check if everything is alright. Okay, something is not right. I have forgotten some kind of semicolon or something somewhere. So this is what I have forgotten. So that is it. So okay, and let's check our code here. There is something wrong still, so let's come back here and check. Is it here? Still compare is there, and still compare. Int result. I don't know what is wrong here, but there is something wrong, so let's beta check on it. Beta what? Number 4, I think. Is this number 3 or number 4? Let's check here. 3 stir cmp dot I'm going to come here and still compare character S1 and character S2, result S1 and S2, result equals to return result. What is happening? What is wrong? What writing is wrong here? So the function should work exactly as a still compare, and okay. I'm going to get back to this, so let's go down here. I'm going to go down to the reverse an array function. So if I come here, here and close it, and I'm going to come here and touch for reverse array. Let's see. Clear. Okay. So we have done this for a string, so we are going to do this for this one. So main.h and our description here, and paste it here, and I'm going to pause this. As I was saying, we have done this for reversing a string, so I'm going to continue working on this. So unless here I have created for rev array here, and I'm going to come here, and I have here the prototype copied here. So and this is going to be the description reverse array, which is reversing an array, and there is at a, which is param array a, and there is at n, which is, what is this, an integer, but we can describe it well if we can see n is the number of elements of the array. So n is an element of an array. So as we are going to do this reversing array by swapping methods, so we are going to find first int pointer p, comma I, comma an auxiliary, comma k for loop. I and k are for loop, and we are going to initialize our p equals to by a first, which is an address of the first address of a. This is a pointer. Pointer p is going to be a first or the first address of an array here. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to move down, and I'm going to write for loop, which is I equals to 0, I less than n, which is the length of the array, and I plus plus, and this loop is going to help us move through the array and go to the end of the element, which is if, for example, our array a equals to 1, 2, 3, and 4, for example. If a is like this, this code is making p, or p is going to refer to the address of this one. When we do this, then the other this code is going to bring p to refer to this one. After this execution of code, it is going to be like that, or p is going to refer to the 4. I'm going to do swapping, so I'm going to do for loop again. For k equals to 0, k less than as I is going to be n, so I'm going to say n over 2, n over 2, k plus plus, then what I'm going to do is the same as what we did for a string reversing. So I'm going to put our first element on the auxiliary, which is a0, also known as a0 for the first element. Then I'm going to make ak, which is the first element, to be equals to the last element, which is by dereferencing the p, which is referring to the last element. So this is saying I am making this or holding this value on an auxiliary variable, which is auxiliary, and I am overwriting this variable with 4, and it is going to come here, and what is going to happen is auxiliary equals to 1, and then a equals to 4, 2 commas 3 comma 4 after the execution of this line. So I'm going to go down and I'm going to change this as it is going to be changed next. So I'm going to do dereference p equals to auxiliary, which is doing what I'm intending to do, and removing this and making it 1. And the next thing is I'm going to do p minus minus, which is moving from the last one to this. It is going to p is going to reference to this element now. So that is that. Then after this, as it is void, we don't need to return anything. So that is what our code is after all. So I'm going to git add this, git commit reversing an array, git push. Then let's check this one. Okay, so write a function that changes all lowercase letter of a string to uppercase is the next question. So I'm going to implement that shortly. So let's copy this one, copy, then come here and let's check if we were correct. So we are not correct. So what happened? Let's see what happened. I think this should be removed. So C, and I'm going to bt on number 4. It is right. So git add git commit message out fix git push I'm going to start a new test here once it is done already. So this is this. So what happened here? I'm going to check. I don't know what the errors are unless I check them myself or by some things. So I'm going to go to my code, and what is the error? I equals to 0, I less than n, and this, then k is equals to 0, k less than n over 2, or if I do less than or equals to here, control save, git commit message out fix, and if I come here and do this, if not, I'm going back to the thing here. Rev, there is no rev here, no rev here, forward here, reverse string, print number, print, okay. Here is rev string, so as you can see, length 1/2. Okay, yes. The reason I think is we have to differentiate between n, which is which we refer here, and k, but it is different, I think. Here length 2, which is pp, as I suppose. So si and s length 2 rather than so we are referring to the different parts, so I don't think it is error here. What is the error here? There less than, it is less than on here as well, it should be less than there as well. So what is going on? Let's see. Okay, let's come here. Pointer I, auxiliary k. So pointer is going to point to the array as first element, then it is going to increment until it is going to be n, and I'm going to change this to I, as it is going to be the same. If that has some maybe an error, so auxiliary equals to ak equals to p, and this equals to auxiliary, and this is it. That is how I have did it. I've done it. Git commit out fix push, and let's check again. As this is unpredictable error, so let me check into it and get back to you. If it was an error here, it is going to be a compilation error. It is not passing any thing, so it has passed a lot of test cases, and it might be unsupposed or unsupported. It is going to be unsupported operand or something, so, or unsupported output or incorrect output or something, so that we will left it as that, and we are going to move to the next one. And the next one is going to be this one, and I'm going to come here and make it here this one, and I'm going to create this file by going here and moving down, and ls and touch 5 dash string to upper dot c. So I'm going to open that file from here by coming back and going here and here, and I'm going to come here and include main.h, then here, then so this here string to upper converting any string to upper uppercase. So and it is going to take a character. What is a character name here? It is like this. I'm going to give it x, and let x equals to character array or string param, and it is going to return string. So that is that. Let's go and for string to uppercase we just check if it is in the lowercase range and convert it back to the low uppercase change. So I'm going to do what? First int I equals to 0, and then after that I'm going to do while, which is x I is present. While xi is present, I'm going to do what? First here I plus plus, then here I'm going to do if what it is in the range of, as it is a character, I'm going to say if xi is greater than or equals to 97, which is small a, and xi less than or equals to 122, which is z. What we are going to do is I'm going to move it to the uppercase range, so which is I'm going to make xi equals to xi, which is the value of ai, and I'm going to, if this is an a and 65, here I'm going to show you a is represented by 65 and a small is represented by 97. So if we subtract the small a and capital A, it is going to be 32. So as you know, 122 minus 32 is going to be 90, which is z capital. That is what we are doing here. So I'm going to remove this one. And it is running through the array and converting everything to the respective capital letter. So we are going to return x from this and save it, come here and pt checkpoint 5 git add it and check if cancel main.h is saved. I'm going to save it as well. Git add or git commit to upper implemented git push. It is going to push for me, and I'm going to come here and check my code. It has passed, and we are going to go down and come here. So I'm going to stop here as it is really late here. I'm going to go through this one. So this one is going to be so I'm going to come here, touch 6 dash close the other part things from here, and for here. So I'm going to open this one, include main.h, and I'm going to make this one, and come here, and x here as well, and I'm going to open and close here, and I'm going to initialize things. Which is cap string. Let's read the instruction. Write the function that capitalizes all words of a string. Prototype curly separator of words is space, tabulation, new line, comma, let's increase thing and see. So new line, comma, semicolon, and these things. So I'm going to take this as an array. So I'm going to copy this one, just to this one, copy, and I'm going to do char spc and come here equals to, and I'm going to do this one, comma. So everything should be in a semicolon. So I might need to use their ASCII code, so I'm going to keep back here and ASCII table. So ASCII table here. So the first two things are, the first two separators are a space, which is I think 32 is a space, and tab, which is I don't know how much, \t is \t, which is tab actually. So there is no \t, I think. So let's there a tab is 9. So I'm going to use these things here. So I'm going to use the first 32, 9, the new line. New line character can be written as this one, comma. What is next? Comma can also be written as this thing, I think, comma, semicolon, comma, semicolon, comma, dot, comma, this exclamation mark, comma, question mark, comma, this thing, comma, bracket, comma, closing bracket, comma, opening brace, comma, closing brace, comma, and etc. So I'm going to close it by semicolon here. These are what we need. on our line. So now what we are going to do is what is asked. So let me come back and start, and I'm going to add two things. The first one is int lane of SPS, which is equals to 13. If you count this array, it is going to be 13, and I'm going to int a equal 0, comma I equal I. So I'm going to use a while loop. So while xa, which is xa is available and it is not null or null byte, so we are gonna do I equal 0 for another loop, which is going to check if the character, or for example if x is equals to Sami is in learn programming Africa, and I can make it comma here, colon here, or semicolon here, dot here, or space. There is a space there. So I am going through this one using this while loop. I'm retrieving each and everything, and I'm going to check if each of these are inside these things. So how can I do that? I'm going to do that by while again I is going to be less than length. I'm going to remove this space here. If while I is less than space, I'm going to less than and the length of the separators array. If I'm going to check two conditions. If the first condition is if a equals to 0. So let's do so, and the first condition is going to be if a equals to 0, or s a minus 1 equals to SPSC I, which is if s, for example s, there is s, this is the first element is s, and it is now going to confirm this one. So I'm going to close this one. The second thing is going to be end s a is a small letter 97 greater than. To change the character it has to be, or to capitalize the character it has to be in capital letter. SA less than or equals to 122. Here what I'm going to do is I'm going to capitalize the character if this condition is going to be fixed, which is a equals to 0. A equals to 0 is if a is equals to 0 and this is small letter, this is going to be true for this condition. For the first condition this statement is going to be true, so true, and s is between this one and that is true also, so it is going to change this thing to what, a capital version of that thing. So I'm going to make a equals to SA minus 3 2, which is a capital later version of this thing. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to increment I plus plus, which is to terminate this loop, and I'm going to get out of here and move this loop as well, which is going through the entire string. So I'm going to make it moved by making by incrementing a, which is a plus plus. So that is that, and I'm going to return what? I'm going to return here x, that is what is expected to be returned. So I think that is that. I'm going to describe this one. Okay, capitalization function. Then I'm going to add x param, string param, then return capitalized version of the string. So this is how it is done, and I'm going to Betty on it, Betty 6, and she is complaining about a lot of things. Space required after that. This on line 10 here, I think the first one is here, the second one is here there is a space. Here is as well another space, and here, as you can see as well, is another thing. So I'm going to test again. Trailing space on line 13. On line 13 there is trailing space. I'm going to remove that. Space preferred on line 19. On line 19, where is space not inserted? I think here it is, and space required around this space is here, required here as well. What is trailing white space on line 21st? Here, control save, and this is exactly now trailing white space. Save, exactly done. Git arrow, git commit message capitalization completed, git push. And I'm going to come here and check my code. Some checks have fallen, so there is something that are not working, and I think is this one. I'm sorry, this one. Save. Delete add commit message hard fix git push, and I'm gonna come here and check on my code. I'm going to minimize this. Some checks has failed. Again, there is a check failing. Where is it? Come here, Betty, and this thing, Betty. So Betty is not giving me anything, so I'm going to try changing some required things to a number. So the first thing is this one, which is I think I will come here. By the way, there should be I'm going to do z, and I'm going to come here, copy this one up to here, copy, come to code block, and come here and print return x is going to be this one, and return x on print f s comma x. So let's build and run. A undeclared error x is undeclared, so char x. Okay. S is undeclared, which should be x, I think. X here, x here, x here, x here, x here, and if I do this, this is expected after before return here. Build and run. Sami is in learn programming Africa, so that is what is left. So I'm going to come here, copy this one up to here, copy, come here and paste it here, paste here. Now I'm going to remove this one, and I'm going to remove up to this part, and I'm going to come back here and do this, and I'm going to Betty check on it, git add, git commit hot fix, git push. Git push and check our code here. So it should pass. Yes, it has passed, and let's go down. Write a function that encodes a string into 137, which is, what is 137? It is a lit, and also known as a lit or lit speak, is a system modified spelling used extremely internet. And so let's go through it. So this is 7-bit. So let's. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create the file which is lit 7 touch 7 lead.c. Then I'm going to open it from here. I'm really tired, sorry if my sound is a little slow or powerless. So I'm going to do this, and I'm going to come back to here and copy this one, char this one, copy v here, and I'm going to add it here as well, v, save it, come back here and delete a lead function, and I'm going to give it x, so x param x, and it is going to return a string. So I'm going to give it x, so that is how it should be. So as we are going to moving through this, so this is saying we are going to change a and a small to number 4, e and e capital to number 3, and this one, and these things should be changed to this one. And it is, you can only use one if in your code, okay. You can only use 2 loops in your code, so I'm going to use 2 loops. You are not allowed to use a switch, you are not allowed to use any ternary operator. So these are the restrictions, and I'm going to go here and I'm going to do int a first equals to 0, b equals to 0 for my loops, and I'm going to say length is equals to 5 for the for these ones, 1 2 3 4 5. So I'm going to just use these ones, a, e, o, t, and l. So okay, here I'm going to come here and I'm going to char what these are to be replaced, tr to be replaced r5, which are actually 10, they are 10, but they are correspondent with each other. So I'm going to create an array here which is saying a comma e comma o, t, and l. Also let's come here and comma o, comma t, and comma l. So this is that, and let's continue to character to be replaced with trw is also 5 equals to the first one I remember is number 4, which is which should be given as a character number 4 comma 3071 3071. Then this is that, and I'm going to use my loop. So I'm going through my string, so while x a to initialize, so I don't need to initialize b here. B should not be initialized here, just comma is enough, comma here as well is comma enough. So I'm going to come here and b equals to 0 here, and the second on the second part I'm going to add another while loop, which is while b less than l, which is length of the replacement things, and I am using loops twice only. That is also, there is also that restriction. I'm going to open this thing, close it, come here, and I'm going to use if one time. So if what is or x a equals to be replaced or to be replaced b, or or if x a minus 32, which is, if it is going to be small letter, I'm going to check for that as well, to be replaced b. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do this. I'm going to change that letter x a should be equals to what, trw b. That is what this is saying. So this is done, the if clause is done. So I'm going to change b here. This is by incrementing b. This is done. This should be inside this loop, so I'm going to enter here and b plus plus here and I have to terminate the outer loop as well, so I'm going to a plus plus here as well, which should be good. So I have to return a string, so I'm going to say x here, save, and that is all. I think let's add Betty on number 7, commit dash m int is done, push. So I'm going to check this and go and sleep as soon as this is done. That is perfectly done. Thanks God we didn't mess up anything. So let's close this video, and we are going to do the advanced tasks tomorrow. As this is a today project, don't worry about it. Just do this one, and we are going to get back to the advanced part tomorrow, or we might skip it. Bye for now. Thank you.